So today we are with Rhys Schofield from Fix My Legal to talk everything that is conveyancing. So Rhys, what is Fix My Legal?
Yes, Fix My Legals is a conveyancing brokerage that I am one of the co-founders of. We set it up about 18 months ago, but the whole point of setting it up was those of you who were in the industry in the COVID years, as I like to call them. How bad was conveyancing back there? The average time to complete on a property purchase was what, 9 months, something like that. That many cases were falling out of bed. My background is mortgage broking, and the amount of time and effort our admins were having to put in just to keep cases from falling out of bed, for us not get paid any money in some cases for a year, it was crazy. And I think we're just really frustrated. Conveyancing was something which was not making our lives easier, but we knew that with good conveyancers, because there are good conveyancers out there, and good communication and just setting some level of standard meant that we could make the whole process a lot easier. And people always laugh, Fix My Legals, FML, that is why we chose it. We chose it to take the FML out of conveyancing.
Yeah, which we've all muttered on many occasions.
And worse, yeah.
Okay, so what is it that Fix My Legal do then? So obviously you've explained why you've set it up, but what is it that Fix My Legals actually do?
Yeah, so we've got a very carefully selected panel of conveyancers that we work with, the guys that have consistently been good at giving communications, who we're not chasing endlessly, who are giving us proper updates, not we're waiting for inquiries back. That solicitor speak for go away, leave me alone, I haven't got a real update. You know, we're not dealing with those guys. So yeah, only firms with better than 4.5 star reviews. We do get approached by a lot of other firms. We have to say, look, your reviews aren't good enough, we won't work with you.
So you're quite selective.
We're very selective. And then what we're also there to do is manage the communications, just to make sure that everyone knows what's going on at any given point in time. So, you know, talking from my frame of reference back when I was a broker, it was no good for me to be the last person to find out that a property had exchanged contracts. I find out a week later from the customer that they've picked up the keys, and I'm like, well, I didn't know. I needed to start all your insurances and your protection from the day. It's, you know, really frustrating for estate agents as well, because the big thing is you're gonna have to work out your dates and arrange swapping over of keys and all this sort of thing. And it was just no good that stuff might be happening, but then no one was being told. So we managed the communication piece so that in that example where maybe, you know, contracts have been exchanged, customer gets an update, estate agent gets an update, mortgage broker gets an update. It's just that communication piece. And that was the bit where actually we probably found that the industry was most wanting, was updates going to the right people where they needed to know them, as well as people taking the mickey a little bit with timescales and things like that. So that's the other part that we do. Is there's been quite a few people who use us who used to work really hard when it came to sales progression and that sort of thing, and they say, I love dealing with your cases, I don't actually have to make any calls to work out what's going on, because you tell me what's outstanding, you give me an idea when it should be due back by, and you do send me another message if it's getting a bit close to that time and we think, okay, maybe we did need to do something. So there's that whole just holding people accountable for what's due back and from where. And what's really good as well is, and I've got a newfound understanding for this being more involved in conveyancing, is sometimes I think conveyancers carry the can a little bit for stuff that's outside of their control. And people are very quick to throw their conveyancer under the bus when it turns out that maybe your buyers took 6 weeks to send their initial documentation back. And it's amazing that sort of little bit of communication shines a little bit of light on where the delay is. And what I've certainly noticed on some of our cases is that let's say there's a document outstanding from a buyer or a seller and it's been a few weeks, and the estate agent knows, the estate agent gets straight on the phone to their relationship and gives them a huge kick up the butt. So we're finding that the turnarounds are much quicker as well, just with the clear expectations and the communication piece.
So it's kind of harmonising everything together, isn't it? Because I know, especially for me, one of the worst things is when you are sales progressing, it can take a full day out of your time because you're
Yeah.
waiting for a call back from this person or that person, and
Yeah.
sometimes you don't even get a call back, or they won't speak to you, put through to a PA who doesn't
Yeah.
really know what's going on. So
And the conveyancers like it as well, because the conveyancers can't do any conveyancing if they're having to take 4 phone calls from, 4 different people, all asking for the same bit of information. So just being able to unify that communication frees up the conveyancer to get on with the day job as well. So it's fantastic. And I've worked in my years in corporate estate agency, historically, I've worked with some estate agents who I would not want to do the conveyancing for, and they probably were a detriment to the whole transaction because they were just too intense, asking for too many updates. No one could actually get on with anything, and we don't have that anymore because everyone just knows what's going on when it's going on. So yeah, it's great.